Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Adventure Bound Offroad YouTube channel. I'm Rob. We're out at Gooseberry Mesa this morning to film the introduction video to the channel. So my name is Robert Barber. I grew up in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and roughly 10th grade, 11th grade, I found King of the Hammers. I found the aftermarket Jeep world, and I was addicted. Even further back than that, as a kid, I remember drawing pictures of Jeeps and being just intrigued by Jeeps in the off-road world. So I joined the Marine Corps right after high school, and that was kind of my plan to get out west. I knew that that's where the off-road industry was, and that if I joined the Marine Corps, I had good opportunities to end up on the West Coast. So joined the Marine Corps, went to boot camp. After that, I went to Pensacola and Oceana, Virginia to get my education on the F-18 platform as an airframer, and got orders to Japan. So I kind of overshot the West Coast. My time in Japan, I spent researching how to start a business, what to do in business, all with the intentions of starting an off-road shop. After Japan, I put in orders to go to San Diego. I got those orders and ended up in San Diego at 101, which was a training unit, and that was the perfect fit for me. They were a little bit more structured with their scheduling. They worked more, they had 3 shifts. So I was able to know when I was working, when I wasn't working, and I could do the things that I needed to do to start my business, and actually ended up going to the fab school during that time. I pitched the idea to my command that going to the fab school was going to bring skills to the shop that I could teach my subordinates, different fabrication skills. They were all on board. That time was really difficult in my life because I was driving 2.5 hours north to Rancho Cucamonga to go to school. And then I was also working on the flight line. So I really had no time. I was getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep and doing side jobs when I could out of my garage. After all that, I graduated from the fab school and I started doing side jobs out of my garage in military housing, and ended up getting a notice saying, hey, you can't operate a business in military housing. So I looked at my wife and said, I guess we're signing a lease on a shop. So that is how Adventure Bound Offroad came to be. So that's when I went official. I got the LLC, did all that stuff, started the actual business, and started doing actual work for clients. So I did that for about the last year that I was in the Marine Corps. So that would have been 2018. I got out of the Marine Corps September of 2019 and went full-time for myself in Escondido, California. So I operated there for a few years, moved into a larger shop with my buddies that owned I Got a Guy. I ended up hiring a few guys, and we started to grow really fast. And that's where my skills as a business owner weren't up to par, let's say that. So we were growing faster than what I had skills to operate a business and manage and all the things that go into that. I knew Jeeps really well. I knew how to build Jeeps really well. I did not know the business side of it, and that is where my shortcomings were. I learned and forced myself to push through that time for probably 2 years, and I learned a lot at a very accelerated rate, but ultimately I wasn't happy. So I had completely gotten away from actually building the Jeeps, welding, cutting, grinding, all the things that I enjoyed doing. I wasn't doing it anymore. I was focused on paying the bills and doing the payroll and all the stuff that a business is required to do to operate, and I wasn't happy doing that. So I kind of took a few steps back. I ended up letting my guys go, and I went back to just myself. So I still had lots of work on the books. I let all my customers know it's going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to be me. You're going to be dealing with me, and I'm going to be doing everything start to finish. And not a single one of those customers bailed out at that point. So they all stayed with me, wanted me to continue to do their builds. And during that time, a house came available in Utah, and basically I was in the shop working one day. My wife told me, you need to stop what you're doing, go look at this house. And now we're in Utah. So we ended up buying the house. It had a shop on the property, and we moved to Utah after my wife got out of the Coast Guard. And now that brings you up to current. My goal was and always will be to create the best builds possible and put out the best work that I'm capable of. I've learned a lot in the past few years with building Jeeps and the way to do that, the different parts to use. Now that we're in Utah, the tempo has slowed down a little bit, which has allowed me to focus on developing some parts of my own, axles of my own. It's all stuff that's in the works. So you're going to see a lot of new things coming out from Adventure Bound Offroad that I feel really sets us apart from the competition. My goal with this YouTube channel is to give you the behind the scenes. Everybody sees the end product of the Jeep done. Everybody sees the Jeep that's out on the trail, and they don't really show what goes into that. And I think that that's something that is missing. I want to give you the behind the scenes, the day-to-day cutting, grinding, welding, the hours that go into building a custom vehicle, to give a little bit better understanding to my customers what they're getting, the attention to details, and the level of builds that they're getting from me in the shop. Along with shop content and the behind the scenes of building the vehicles, we're also going to bring you some videos of us out on the trails with our customers, using their Jeeps, using the Jeeps that I've built for myself. And we're also going to do build series on all of those vehicles. Now that you know a little bit more about me and the background of Adventure Bound Offroad, follow along, subscribe. If you want to see something, let us know. If you have questions about something that you did see in one of the videos, comment and we'll get back with you.